We OG, we OG. Oh no, G. You're not bullish enough. Yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the oh no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload. Yeah. Experts on reload. Yeah. You're not bullish enough. Yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the oh no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload. Experts on reload. Mempool getting hot. Everybody wanna rock. Ayy. Runes is coming. Everybody on a knot. Ayy. It's a nuisance. Ordinal Revolution. Ayy. Ordinal Revolution. Yo, it's my guy for real, bro. Got friends right now. Yo, BRC 420, bro. Yo, that shit on fire, bro. Imagine if he in here. Yeah, lock it in the seal. Murder. I got balls of steel. Nuki on the field. Yeah, this shit for real. With no calls, I get so far. Got 100 phone calls that I go hard, and they gon' love me. Smoke weed, huddle back. I get shiesty. Where my Bitcoin looking lovely. All this Satoshi's nothing above me. Bitcoin's alive, what you gon' do? Mempool fees are high. Ordinal. Where does it stop? Nobody knows. It's a revolution. Ayy, Bitcoin is the one, no substitution. Ayy, with Shizzy and Yagobi, it's Ordinal Revolution.
Welcome back to Ordinal Revolution. My name is Shizzy. On this channel, we cover the entire Bitcoin Ordinal ecosystem. What is up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. We are live for another Ordinal hour, and it's going to be a great one, guys, because we just had the most bullish weekend in crypto's history, in Bitcoin's history, right? I mean, you had Trump, you had Cynthia Loomis, you had so many others coming out and really pushing this Bitcoin ecosystem further. And I think ordinals and runes are really going to be the ones that really capture the light in the upcoming months. And that's why we do a show on this every single day, Monday to Friday. We have so many amazing things to talk about. Me and Yagobi are going to give our opinion on the conference. We're gonna break it down day by day for you guys. I know I said last week we're gonna try to do as many videos and shorts. That really didn't happen. We didn't really find the right places to do that type of stuff because it was just so loud and it just wasn't working properly. But we're gonna break it down for you guys, just for the ones who weren't able to make it down there. It was absolutely insane. My biggest takeaway is that Broadway in Nashville is insane. If you haven't experienced it, it's definitely something to experience. So that was nuts, and then so much more to get into. We're gonna get into it, and obviously today as well, it's Merlin Monday. So the first hour of today's show, we're gonna break down the news and ordinal stuff, and then the last hour at 12 p.m. Eastern, we're gonna jump into Merlin. We're gonna have Jeff on. We're gonna have a bunch of Merlin guys on, Mr. J, and hopefully Fonzie from Ordinal Hive. It's gonna be a great show, guys. So without further ado, we bring in my partner here, as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's up? Billy. What's going on, man?
Dude, I love the glasses. That was probably the biggest takeaway as well. The Billy community is huge, and they're very ordinal maxibus, right?
yeah, definitely some leaders from that community were there. Yeah, they definitely showed their presence, right? So they were underneath the Taproot Wizards, big, huge section that they had. They were on all the TVs there. You saw these people having these Billy glasses, and it was really cool. The energy was awesome. I just woke up the last morning and I was like, what happened to my eyes? And I can't like go back to how it was, but I'm fine, man.
Yeah, man. So let's get right into it. Nashville Bitcoin Conference, right?
Yeah.
Let's go day by day with here. What was your opinion from the first day? Because a lot of people couldn't get into the first day because it was industry only. The festival pass was the cheaper one. That was the next day. But what can you tell me about the industry day, your experience of that?
Let me fix my hat here. So the industry day was the first day was awesome. I feel like we were blessed to be able to get the press passes.
Yeah.
It was just awesome because, you know, for both of us, it was our first Bitcoin conference, right, to go to, and we got to get in there before the huge rush was there, right? And so we got to talk to booths. We were surprised to see some booths there getting some attention, and we got to see, you know, how large the mining sector is, right? Because it's definitely like they're there, their presence is always felt, but also if you walk through the entire section of the booths, you could see there was a huge Bitcoin scaling section as well. In the middle was kind of like some, like, you know, more didn't fit in either bucket. It was kind of like a little bit of wallets, a little bit of this and that type of situation. But those were the two biggest presences that we saw, was the mining and the Bitcoin scaling solutions, which obviously the scaling solutions gets us really bullish on what we talk about.
Yeah, 100%. To your point, the mining section was absolutely massive. The amount of people that are building around these mining ecosystems is pretty massive, to the point of taking up half of the giant room that we're in. You couldn't just walk by, like visually. It was just mining, 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 and then you had a little sector of L2s, side chains, and then a sector of, you know, like you said, scaling solutions and things like that. And I don't know, man, I was blown away by the mining. We sat through a couple on day 3. We sat through a bunch of you know, Bitcoin mining people talking about ordinals, right? And how ordinals could really be the scaling solution to really keep fees going. So I thought that was a kind of a real big takeaway.
Yeah. So I think you're referring to the talk that Charlie Spears moderated right at the end, and that was great. You know, I'm not so sure that those miners expected that conversation to flow that way. Of course, we did, because we know that CB Spears is in our, you know, originally kind of from space. Obviously, he's originally from the mining background, but that was a great conversation, and it opened our eyes in terms of the thought process and kind of how much the miners really understood Bitcoin from like a fundamental level, and then how ordinals and runes and all this new, you know, ecosystem, on-chain economy has really educated them on how Bitcoin works. That was the biggest shocker to me, is that they mentioned that they didn't need to know how it worked. And so they just ran a computer and put it on autopilot for, you know, their mining machines and stuff like that. So that was really interesting. And they were very open and welcoming, it seemed like, to us, like our community type of people, right?
Yeah. I think it's only a matter of time before every miner has an ordinal collection. And I think that happens through, you know, them wanting to get more fees. And imagine having like a Mara collection. Like that's the Mara collection. That's the Riot collection. That's the, you know, so on and so on. Like every single miner, I think eventually will have a collection, probably to the sense of 10,000. And I think that happens like within the next year or so.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Well, it could definitely happen. How they can create like a model behind it, I think, is important, right? Because yes, their brands are very strong. Some of these are publicly traded companies. Most of them are, I believe. And so there's a lot of capital behind these companies, right?
Yeah.
They have boards and stuff like that. Obviously, that this would have to be kind of, you know, checked, to give the check mark off from the board and all that stuff. But yeah, that would be awesome. That'd be interesting. You know, maybe they could do something like, you know, some sort of revenue share, or, you know, like, I forgot what it's called in stocks, but where they give like additional revenue to the stockholders, right?
Yeah.
And so something like that. I think they would just have to find some sort of mechanism. But as a holder, you would be confident because of the brand behind it, right? Because they don't want their brand to have a blemish on it, even if it's 100%. Just from an ordinal collection.
I mean, the easiest thing to do, from my point of view, would be to get a big artist, all right, someone big in the space, someone just kind of like how the Goosenal artist did. Get a big artist. You pay him a lot, lots of money. You put the collection out there. You can potentially sell the collection. You're selling art at the end of the day. You're not selling a security. I mean, art that way, and potentially you earn satoshis. Every day holding this, you earn a certain amount of satoshis that you can go claim from the satoshis are created from the mining aspect. So that's to say you take 10% of the reward and you give it to people holding your art. You know, so at the end of the day, you're kind of passing the Howey test.
Yeah. And also, we already know of a miner that has started a project, right, to where they're giving away sats, right? Now, obviously, they're finalizing their model. They have their model and how it's going to work, but I think like rolling it out to the public, they're finalizing that kind of stuff. But their app went live, I believe, last week, and so we see someone from the mining sector already trying to see how they can expand outside of mining alone and really engage with the Bitcoin ecosystem community. So I expect to see a lot more of this, and I'm super bullish on this because they're going to try different approaches to see how they can kind of penetrate this ecosystem and community.
Yeah.
And I think it's just going to make everything stronger over here.
100%. Jumping back to day one, we met Benjamin Cohen. Benjamin Cohen is a Bitcoin dominance guy, very Bitcoin maxi like, but he has huge following. And what's best part, he invited us to his rooftop bar. That was the last night that we were there. But it was pretty amazing to see just so many different YouTubers and so many people that I've watched and you've watched the last couple years, and just seeing how down to earth a lot of these people were.
Yeah, 100%. He was definitely down to earth, right? Like I did not expect him to be that chill and cool. And so that was awesome. And another thing that kind of surprised me, and this is not to take anything away from him, but someone of that stature, and he has almost 900,000 followers on Twitter, right? Obviously, he has a big subscriber base as well. We met some of them at the party, but just the information that they had on the Ordinal ecosystem and the current Bitcoin on-chain economy is pretty limited. And kind of now I think about it, it makes sense because they're so busy with what they built, 3 years ago, right? And they have a huge community, and they're trying to figure out what they are doing with their community, for their community, and what their bread and butter is. They've established that, right? So he's the BTC dominance guy, obviously alpha, that type of thing. But they're interested. They're interested is one of the reasons I think we got invited there. They're interested in learning more about ordinals and the Bitcoin on-chain economy. So I think the people that are listening to this show right now, you guys are super early, because even some of these huge following accounts are still learning and probably behind you guys, and they're really
100%.
smart people. They just haven't had the time to dive into it.
100%. Like Benjamin Cohen was really interested in ordinals. He wants to eventually start his own collection, give it away to his he has Into the Cryptoverse. It's like $100 a month. He wants to give that to those subscribers and stuff like that. It kind of shows appreciation to go back. So you could see collections from these massive YouTubers being in ordinals. And at the end of the day, I mean, I think the biggest takeaway as well is eventually, I truly believe that a lot of these chains, Ethereum included, are eventually going to use Bitcoin as their cloud system instead of using AWS. Eventually, Bitcoin's going to become this layer 0 for all art, and you're going to be inscribing this stuff, especially after we get Opcat, inscribing into Bitcoin, but using that as your cloud system the same way they use Amazon Cloud, right? I think that was kind of another big takeaway of mine was, eventually everything will be on Bitcoin.
Yeah, and then they can claim that it's on chain, right? And I totally wouldn't be surprised if that happens with NFTs instead of IPFS links pointing to an AWS server in the future, pointing to a Bitcoin inscription, right? So yeah, like I said, that just another reason why I feel like we're so early in the space is because a lot of the stuff is going to turn out not how we expected, just like the internet, right? A lot of times things, we try to predict the future, forecast how things are going to work out, and a lot of times we get it wrong, but it's still innovative and really impactful. And I feel like that's how our space is going to be in 5 years for the entire crypto space.
100%. All right, jumping into day 2, we went to the Bitcoin Startup Lab. We had some funny situations happen to us there. It was a sticker situation. You want to get into that?
Oh yeah, so yeah, that was pretty funny. So first of all, the BTC Startup Lab, I felt like it was like a college, like almost kind of like a dorm hall in there, right? There was all these nerdy people, including us. We're nerds. Yeah, but I did bring my wife along. I just wanted her to, she came with me to Nashville. I wanted her to see a little bit of what we do. And I didn't realize there was a blue sticker for the builders and developers and an orange sticker for the investors. And I just randomly put a blue sticker on me and an orange sticker on my wife. And you were there as well. And we were all just talking. and some random guy just comes up and starts pitching us. You know, and we were just like, oh cool, yeah, that's cool, like, you know, sounds dope, blah blah blah. And then we're like, well, yeah, you know, we think that's a solid idea, just, you know, keep running with it, you know. You seem confident in what you're doing. And then so we thought conversation over. But then he turns to my wife and was just like, so what are you looking for in the space, you know? And then she looks at me clueless, right? And I'm just like, well, she's kind of with me and she's going with a ride. And he was just like, oh, okay, so you know, she's not looking to invest in something like what I'm doing. And I was confused. And he's like, well, she's got the orange sticker. And then that's when it came together to me, for me, and explained that, you know, orange stickers were the investors and stuff like that. So I was like, this is really good practice though, because you nailed it. So I'm pretty sure you got somebody.
It was just funny because like we're Ordinal Revolution and he's hitting us you know, with your wife, and we're both just looking at each other like, what's going on here, you know? And that was the best part. It was just like it was a fun event, you know. It was packed elbow to elbow. I met Travis Wright from Bad Crypto, another massive channel in the space. Had a great conversation with him. You know, like these guys have been around forever, and then he's in an ordinal event, right? Travis Wright, he's building upon ordinals. This is a guy who's been in Ohm, he's been in every DeFi situation, he's been in so many different situations, but now he's building using the cohort with the BTC Startup Lab to create something, right? He wouldn't really tell me what he was creating, but he said once they're ready, he's going to come on the show, which would be absolutely amazing. But that was really cool to see big YouTubers again building, and they're building not just in Bitcoin, but in ordinals.
Yeah. That the BTC Startup Lab is so beneficial just for education, right? Especially if you want to learn how to build in the space. They have so many resources. We were, you know, fortunate enough to run into Albert in person, and just, you know, meet a lot of the builders from his cohort. But yeah, that situation was really cool. So they had a room at the mixer to where all the investors and some builders were in, and people were able to pitch with you know, PowerPoint presentations and stuff like that. So you know, I think we're going to see some stuff that comes out of that as well. But yeah, it was really cool to see kind of how that has evolved to the point to where even people with, you know, large YouTube accounts are joining the cohort to learn, you know, how to build over here. So that was awesome.
100%, dude. All right, jump into day 3 now, which was Saturday. The hype was huge. You know, we were, you know, just kind of hanging out. We went to Bitcoin, the Fractal brunch. A lot of people showed up for that. There was a packed room. It had amazing breakfast. It was probably my best breakfast of that week, or weekend. What are some of your takeaways from the Fractal Bitcoin event?
So yeah, I've been bullish on Fractal Bitcoin just because, like I said before, you know, they have big investor, I would say, because the biggest name is Binance behind them, right? And so I was really hoping to learn a ton from that brunch, but it was really more of a mixer in a sense, right? So the one thing I will say that we learned is that, you know, people are really big on this, you know, BTC staking, restaking, and Babylon is really taking a lot of people's attention, you know, all the way from Merlin to other L2s and now Fractal Bitcoin as well, via Sat Layer, right? So we learned a little bit about Sat Layer and staking your Bitcoin and stuff like that. And I believe they are, so for the people that don't know, Babylon is a project that allows you to stake your Bitcoin, and the Bitcoin is used to secure proof of stake chains, right? So like Avalanche, different chains like that, right? And they're going to be the first chain to apply that theory to. But what they do is smaller companies get involved and allow, you know, you to stake through them and stuff like that. Bedrock was one of them. We met there, and Sat Layer being another one. So really, people are just really focused, from what I saw in that kind of mixer, on the staking aspect of Bitcoin, because people were wanting to, and I think it's a lot of whales. Like, how can I stake a lot of Bitcoin for even, you know, a solid 5 to 10%? And that seems to be what Fractal is focused on as well.
Yeah. My biggest takeaway is that only really, you know, Merlin and Fractal are actually building for L1 assets, right?
Yeah.
There was a couple other L2s there, and at the Fractal event, and my first question was, "Are you guys going to be using ordinals?" And I asked actually a lot of different L2s the same question, and a lot of them said no, which was really, you know, a turn off for me. Like, why would I use these other L2s when ordinals and layer one assets are not even going to, or are being kind of passed over? So it's kind of, to me, it's kind of like, why would you build on Bitcoin and not use the L1 assets? You might as well just go build your own chain. And it's all kind of like a scam, kind of. It's kind of all kind of a race to the bottom, because like all these L2s, it's like staking and restaking is gonna be big. But at the same time, where does the yield come from? The only real yield in the space is borrowing and lending, right? Something like Babylon or something like that. But if all these chains are come out, these restaking, you stake your Bitcoin, awesome, right? But then as you're staking a Bitcoin, you're earning these rewards. Why would you hold these rewards? You're going to dump them. You're going to continuously dump them and get more Bitcoin, right? Because at the end of the day, everyone wants more Bitcoin. So a lot of these L2s, I mean, at the end of the day, they're all kind of scammy when you don't have L1 assets. And that was really a big turnoff to me. And, obviously, BitLayer, Bob, B2s, they're not adopting.
Yeah. Well, I
any
think
of those.
Botonics, we know a couple projects are building on Botonics, so I think they're going to be supporting the Bitcoin Layer 1's assets as well. But other than them, you're right. Like, I don't know any outside of that ecosystem that have focused on that. And so we'll see, right? I think it's going to be kind of, slow at the start and then all at once type of approach with those Bitcoin Layer 2s. That's why I feel like we're more bullish on Merlin's, because they've had that head start. Now, Botonics' project, we'll see how it goes, but they are boasting that they are going to be able to trade like a lot of fungible tokens and stuff from Bitcoin's Layer 1 on their chain as well. And then you have Fractal. So I would say that it's those three right now that we know of and that we've talked to people that are building, but definitely Merlin's in that first place, because you've seen what's been able to be bridged over and everything, right? So
100%.
that's kind of how I feel about that.
Yeah. I'm a lot more bullish on Fractal now because of seeing that they're the kind of the only ones really building for this ecosystem, layer one assets, right? I mean, they're making sats, their fee token. Yeah, so that really opened my eyes to Fractal Bitcoin and everything they're building. Even though it is a side chain, you can say it's 1.5 all you want. It's still a side chain, but it's a side chain that's going to benefit layer one assets. And there's
Yeah.
only two, and maybe Stacks. I guess you can consider Stacks a little bit. But it's really maybe just those three and maybe Botonics. We still don't know about their bridging aspect or if they're going to allow bridging. But we'll see. But there's not many that are real layer twos or side chains that have layer one assets.
Yeah, that's something that we're gonna have to see, right? Because I think if they don't, then they're not gonna, get the attention of our ecosystem. They're gonna have to probably try to look outside, more of the EVM audience and try to pull in from there, which, we'll see how that goes, right? We'll see how that goes. So one thing I will say about Babylon though, so people Babylon's getting a lot of attention because they're smart in terms of how they're approaching this. They're literally using every platform possible to offer the staking, restaking type of thing. Merlin, like I said, Fractal, Botonics, BitLayer, all these things, right? And so by the time they're ready to launch their chain, B squared as well, by the time they're ready to launch their chain, their TVL is going to be insane, right?
Yeah.
So supposedly I believe this is also a part of the approach to kind of have like a cross-chain liquidity like amongst these Bitcoin layer 2 network, like a network to have things more liquid, which would be cool. But we'll see how this plays out. I think for the one thing we can take away is that there's going to be a lot of degen activity once we start to rise up to that bullish atmosphere that Bitcoin will be in terms of these side chains and everything.
Yeah, 100%. Jumping forward now, we went after we left the Fractal Bitcoin brunch. We met with Knox. First time meeting Knox in person. Knox is absolutely amazing. He was awesome. He he teased his project to us a little bit, the 6,666 on a whole bunch of 666s, right? So he's all about that. But he was really awesome. And definitely bullish on what he's building over there, and he's a day one Bitcoiner at the end of the day.
Yeah, super cool dude. It was awesome time hanging with him. We kind of snuck him in the press room a little bit to watch the Trump speech, but that was really cool to hang out with him, and it was cool hanging out with everybody, meeting people in person. Right, we met a couple of our partners and just friends. I would say Raul, Fonzie. We met both of them in person. And so you did skip one part of, I believe it was day 2, and it was the sandbar.
Liquidium.
Liquidium sandbar, which was a huge event, and I think that was day 2. It could have been day 1 and the event. Okay, day 2.
No, it was day 2.
Yeah. So, man, that was awesome to get kind of like this warm reception from everybody in the space, coming up to us and just, talking and acknowledging, the hard work we put into the space. And that's where we met Albert for the first time in real life from the BTC Startup Labs. We met some really cool, young, upcoming, talented developers and project managers and stuff like that. One of them that stuck out to me was the net worth guy, right? Looked really young, but what he's bringing to the space could be huge, monumental. So we'll see how that plays out in terms of the social fi of the Bitcoin ecosystem.
Yeah, amazing builder as well. He helped Jeroen with his project in Scrapedia. He's really amazing builder, and I'm actually curious to see what he does next and how far he takes net worth. That was one of my it kind of blew me away. Very, very talented.
Yeah, that's one that's on my list. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Definitely keep an eye on net worth for sure. They don't have no token or no way you can invest in them right now, but that's something to keep an eye on. And another takeaway was how bullish everyone was on Liquidium. Liquidium token, it might really take off. So many people are bullish on Liquidium, and that was huge. A lot of people were at this event. A lot of Bitcoiners, a lot of ordinal guys were at this event.
Yeah, there was. It was packed. I mean, they did it perfectly, right? Food set up, open bar. Another project that we talked to there was DotSwap, right?
Yeah.
And I know that they're getting very well received by the Ordinal and Bitcoin ecosystem, right? People are starting to get more and more bullish. And it was funny because the founders kind of. It's weird. It's like he's humble and quiet, but also confident at the same time. Because I was like, man, you guys are getting a lot of attention lately. He goes, just the beginning. I don't know if you remember him saying that. And I was just like, okay, all right, but obviously it's a centralized approach, but with the current limitations of Bitcoin and how it works, I guess more and more projects are starting to look to them to be able to be a swap type solution for them, but we'll see how they play out as well. They've been around for a while, and it seems like recently they've gotten the most attention they've ever gotten.
100%. We met Jay Lee from Bison Labs.
Oh yeah, that was
fun. Jay on the show so many times. Jay Lee told us
taller
some
than I
inside
thought.
stuff.
He was taller than I thought.
Yeah. I told us some inside alpha that some members of the team have left, but they're still building over there. They're still continuing the process. What's your takeaways from the kind of the alpha we got from Bison?
Yeah, it was kind of like keeping his head down and continually building and not he seemed like he was very confident in releasing things when he felt like it was right. At the right time, right? And I think that some people don't like that, right? And I can understand it from just my experience of that I've been in the crypto space. People want, it's always like win, and then soon from the developers. So there's a frustration there that's from like the community or people waiting on things, but you have to understand like these projects from the lead developers they're like their babies, right? So they don't want to roll their baby out if it's not ready or if they feel like it's not at optimal performance, right? And also timing the market is a real thing. We've known that, but we solidified that thought this past week just by talking to a lot of these projects.
Yep. And everyone is very optimistic about Opcat, right? Everyone is really thinking it's going to happen. Jay Lee said he expects it to happen as well. But if it doesn't happen, they're pretty confident they're going to have a good product as well. But Bison Labs again is one of the few ones that are going to be building for the layer 1 assets. That's what Jay Lee told me, as well as one of the questions that I asked him, and he said 100%. We're definitely going to continuously building a bridge between Bison Labs and layer 1. So
yeah. And you bringing up Opcat was interesting because during that, so the panel and conversation with the miners was on the last day, right before the Trump speech, and CB Spears, as I mentioned, was moderating that or hosting that, and there was 3 miners that he was talking to, and he put the question out there. He said, "Opcat, how do you feel about it?" And all 3 gave the nod and said they're for it, which was a bit surprising to me. Because you would think the miners would follow more of the maxi type mindset, and it looks like that's changing, right? The fact that all 3 were pro Opcat, to me, feels like this is something that's happening. This is coming, and it's like, when is it coming? I don't know, but it's coming.
1, they were educated in Opcat. They understood it completely. 2, they were, very open to change on the Bitcoin layer 1, especially because, their businesses are built around Bitcoin. If anything happens to Bitcoin, they're screwed. So for them to be confident in Opcat and educated in Opcat, understanding that this was Satoshi's code that was taken out, put back in, and now, will potentially put back in, and now could really change the landscape of Bitcoin and layer 1 assets.
Yeah, 100%. And the fact that they all, like I said, gave it the nod, and Romain from Sato right out the gate said, "Yeah, why not?"
Yeah.
It's kind of like didn't hesitate or anything. And so the fact that all 3 were pro Opcat, I have a feeling that this is something that's coming. I was hesitant initially. I would say 6 months ago, I'd say probably not. I know you were in the camp that was like never.
Yeah.
and then your mindset kind of changed on that as you realized that
interview
in the conversation just wasn't going away as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was like, okay, where there's smoke, there's typically fire, especially if the smoke continues. So
the Bob Bodley interview kind of changed my mindset on Opcat. I was thinking in my head, like, it'll never happen. It's not battle tested, but he assured me that, that it is battle tested, that people have been checking out for a long time, and that SegWit kind of fixed a lot of the issues that Satoshi, was afraid of. So, and Satoshi kind of wanted this on there originally, but then was afraid, in the very beginning. So he took it out, and now we're at a point where we can put Satoshi's code back in. So I'm very bullish on Opcat, and I think it does happen in 2025.
2025. Okay.
All right. So here the last but not least, Trump. So we were walking around. We're set to watch it in a certain place, but we went down to the media room to kind of get a nice quieter spot. We watched. We didn't go in to the thing. It was just too crowded. We did not want to wait in line for an hour. So we went down to the media room, and they had this giant screen, and we watched the Trump interview live. We're showing what knocks when we did it. What are some takeaways that you took away from the Trump speech?
Well, so this is pretty funny. We were in the press room watching it, and the first takeaway is that the people that are in the press and do what we do are very pro-Trump, right? That's what it seemed like. At least it felt like we were watching a sitcom for a little bit, because there was like a lot of laughing happening because they felt like his comments were funny, right? But I think everybody's waiting for that strategic reserve statement. And he said strategic stockpile, which is actually the exact same meaning, stockpile and reserve. But I think a lot of people didn't realize that at the time, because there was a guy that was like, when he was building up to like strategic and he said stockpile, the guy was like, oh, but it was actually, saying the same thing. So it was actually bullish. I think once, the world realized what he meant, it showed in the price, because it started to pop back up, right? He obviously is still learning about, Bitcoin and crypto in general. I think some of the maxis didn't like the fact that he said crypto a lot, but at the end of the day, if he's going to be pro crypto and pro Bitcoin, then that helps our ecosystem as well, right? Because I think it's inevitable getting away from just this like huge separation of Bitcoin and crypto in terms of an industry. But of course, asset, there's going to be a clear line of distinction, right? There's nothing better than Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the ultimate. But in terms of as an industry, it's going to be lumped in as one. Obviously, you have one end of the spectrum, the best in Bitcoin, the worst in shitcoins, right? So that's what I took from the speech.
Yeah, I 100% agree. My biggest takeaway is that Trump is learning about Bitcoin. He's being told from his staff certain talking points, but at the end of the day, he's actually learning how we react to things, especially when he said, I will fire Gary Gensler on day one. And
That
then
was
said,
so funny.
whoa, I was not expecting that. I will fire Gary Gensler on day one.
Well, he said, let me say it again.
Yeah.
He goes, let me say it again. I will fire Gary Gensler. It was almost kind of like he was just like, I want to hear that again, So
my biggest takeaway from that was the people inside were not just Bitcoin. So Bitcoin maxis don't really mind Gary, right? They don't hate Gary because he's not against what they're building, right?
Yeah.
He is against crypto. It just showed me a lot of people that were in there, and a lot of people came to this event are crypto crypto enthusiasts. They're huge on crypto and not just Bitcoin, which brings us to what we're building over here in Ordinals, because we need regulatory clarity to keep building. Otherwise, you're just going to see more meme coins. And the reason meme coins are so big is because they're acceptable by the Howey test and they're acceptable by Gary, but we need our own rules and our own regulations that are separate from things like the Howey test and things like that, so we can kind of continue this innovation, because it's different than what we had before, and you can't compare it to that. So that was my biggest takeaway was, people in Bitcoin are actually crypto people, which allows us to keep innovation alive, especially on Bitcoin layer 1.
Yeah. Well, what I took away from people getting excited about when he said he's going to fire Gary Gensler is that Bitcoiners are actually starting to be more open-minded in general about it, right? Because like I mentioned before, the industry is starting to merge in terms of, that aspect of it. Because, I don't think necessarily that response would have, had that same response would have happened even maybe a year ago, if you think about it. So
100%. And that was our Bitcoin Nashville conference. Any last takeaways from that before we move on?
I can't wait till the next one next year in Las Vegas. Guys, if you're just a community member, I would, and you want to get more involved with networking, I highly recommend considering going to this event. If you're not going to go to any other events, this is an event I would say go to, especially if you're primarily focused on the Bitcoin ecosystem, because there's no reason for, I feel like, okay, if you filled out all the applications to get into all these events, there was no reason to not go, because you and I had to pick between multiple events to attend, and sometimes it became tough, right? Like, which one are we going to go to, and stuff like that. So there's always something to do, and I can't wait till Vegas next year, because I feel like that one's going to be awesome as well.
I got a feeling everyone's going to feel really rich around May of next year, so I think it's going to be absolutely insane.
Don't lose it all at the casinos.
Is we weren't able to meet with Mr. Shizzy. Shizzy didn't have a great time there, and I just want to apologize to him for that. I should have reached out to you, Shizzy. I apologize for that, mate. He put out a comment later that day, and he was like, "Not my cup of tea. I'm going home." And I was like, "Damn, should have made a better priority to meet with a lot of you guys, man. Just so busy, head spinning, exhausted very quickly. I don't know about you, but I was getting like, tired of talking very quickly."
Well, it was just, I felt like we were constantly. Did you check your steps? My steps were nuts. Like, I think I had like 19,000 steps in one day, because you walk around everywhere, right? And so I did reach out to Mr. Shizzy. Unfortunately, it was a little bit late because he had already headed back. But the thing about this is that, like, there's always gonna be more events, and we will get to a point to where we're large enough to start throwing our own events as well, guys. So I think that's going to be very crucial in the future for you guys, because we'll have something set up that's designated for the Ordinal Revolution community, and I'd like to start getting that set up for next year's convention already. 100%.
So I agree. All right. We'll jump into before we get to crypto prices, or Bitcoin prices, we'll kind of jump into crypto fear and greed. So yesterday was a 71, last week was a 70. Where do you think it is today?
I'm gonna say 74 because it was 8 p.m. Oh, perfect.
74.
I didn't look
Yep.
that time in the background. So
It's at a 74
finally.
today. I'm curious to see where it's at. We did hit $70,000 Bitcoin this morning, so that's pretty big. Very bullish on 70,000 Bitcoin. I think that was, you hit 70K and you fall down really quickly, but I think that's because so many sell orders are at 69,900 and so on and so on. And you hit that and you kind of bounce back. Very normal, but we got a lot of those sell orders out of the way. You come up, you hit them, and they're going forever, right? So I think the next time we pass 7K, we're gonna fly up, in my opinion. But yeah, let's kind of see what you're thinking with the charts.
All right, let's do that. But before we do, I got to do my spiel here. So if you're on the
Yeah.
YouTube side, please smash that like for us. Make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed to our channel. We got 195 people in here, so we appreciate each and every one of you guys. And then on the Twitter side, please share the space, guys. It helps us out a ton. We appreciate all y'all's support, and let's jump into some price action here. So as you can see, Shizzy just talked about the price kind of correcting after touching that 70,000, and that's exactly what happened here. Honestly, I was looking at this morning and I was like, okay, could there be a bull flag here? But typically what you'll see is like once that flagpole is created, you'll see almost like a downtrend a little bit, and then it bumps back up into like a traditional bull flag. So the fact that it was going kind of sideways the entire time, almost kind of tipping up, I was like, I don't feel like it. And so you can see it just dumped down here after touching $70,052, right? But hitting that 70,000 is really important. It's like a psychological barrier, right? We haven't been able to do it all week last week, even leading up to yesterday. So now we ask ourselves, are the market makers going to try and touch that 72,000 mark to get that liquidation? So here's really where the mind games start, in my opinion, because this has been like a slow, methodical work back up to 70,000, in my opinion. Yes, there's been spurts of jumps up and stuff, but it hasn't been just one huge, like, oh, crazy. It's nonstop, like 6,000, 7,000 push up consistently. And so now it's like, okay, are the market makers going to bring us back down? Is this our top for this little, pull back up? And we all think they're going to go to 72,000 because there's a bunch of liquidation points there, right? I do think they do, though. I think they grab it. And in my opinion, we could possibly grab it, touch it, even go a little bit higher, and then come back down one last time before that leg up, right? So a lot of people are saying this is closer to 2017 than it is 2021 in terms of the bull market, right? 2016, I should say, in 2020, but bull market year. That if you looked back at 2016, it would go up and then correct, go up and then correct every single time until that last leg, whenever it pushed back up very strongly. So there could be a pullback down, maybe like first half of August. We'll see. But so for the second half of today, what I'm seeing is that sell-off. Unfortunately, we have been hanging out up here on the hour chart on stochastic RSI since the 28th, or just yesterday at 7 a.m. So quite a while, and then now we're finally going back into oversold, right? So you can see the MACD showing strong sell pressure here, as well as the orange and blue lines really kind of staying apart. So this could, continue down, maybe 67.5, low 67,000s, but I don't think we head back down just yet. I think we at least touch that 72,000 for liquidation and then possibly head back down. So it just could be a normal correction. If you look here, there is a cup and handle pattern here that's kind of formed out here. Pretty decent, pretty clear. You can see here. So if it does get down here, like I said, maybe even like 67.5, like I said earlier, and then bounce back up to get those liquidation points here, that could happen, right? But I think it will probably start, if this does happen, it'll probably start in the later part of it today, like the late evening, heading into tomorrow. So that's what I see on the hour chart. The 4-hour chart, which is going to give us kind of the next 2 days, is showing possible, we already see this red candle here, so we can continue down. But I don't, like I said, I don't think we're done with the buy pressure entirely. I do think we get to the $72,000 mark, but we might visit 67.5, 67 first. It shows that we could possibly head down again towards the oversold territory eventually here. So that is the next couple of days, maybe chop, and then like maybe Wednesday, if I'm right about getting back up to 72.5, could be Wednesday when that happens. And then the 12-hour chart is actually pretty decent. We visited oversold, but we didn't stay there very long, but long enough, in my opinion, long enough for us to maybe like chop here a little bit and then bounce back up here, and it could be a good first half of August. So a lot of uncertainty right now, but the one thing I will say is that I do think that we hit the 72,000, get that liquidation, those liquidation points, and then possibly head back down one more time before September rally.
Yeah, man. And I think you're right about this, like, Wednesday, because we have the FOMC rate decision at 2 p.m. on Wednesday, and at 2:30 Jerome Powell speaks. So everyone's expecting him not to raise rates for this one, but everyone is expecting him to say he's going to cut in September. So if we either get a rate cut, and then which we absolutely no one's expecting, and then go into say we might get another one in September, we could really fly. Your 72,000 might be dead on for Wednesday because of these two situations.
Well, also 72,000 is like, I think it's obviously the market makers want to grab that because there's liquidation, right? But we could possibly not go back down like just low 60s or anything like that one more time before we end up going up. But we could chop between 68 and 70,000, right, for a while.
Yeah,
for maybe like a lot of August, 66 to 70, and maybe not touch those numbers again, because if you didn't buy on this last dip, I don't think you have any excuses, right? And so this could have been the last. That could have been the last big sell-off. This last one that we had, it could just be choppy now until boom, we really blast off in September.
100%. All right, let's jump into that roll call. Let's see who's here, guys. So if you guys don't know, and if you're just sitting here watching for your first time, jump in the chat. We want to see who is in roll call. It's a big deal, and number one is always a big deal. And our number one today is Tim Baker. Congratulations, Tim.
Tim,
win today. You are the man. You are the myth and the legend. Congratulations. One of our mods. And another one of our mods as well. We have Yasher. Says, yo, guys are back. Hell yeah, Yasher. We missed you, buddy. He's like, God bless all of you guys. He also says, bring in the alpha. We hope we gave you some stuff, man, but it wasn't easy. A lot of people were very, tongue-in-cheek about what they're building and stuff like that, but we'll see. Crypto Noob is here. Shout out to you, my friend. Lackey Lukey is here. And my man No is here. Kai Effect is in the building. Another one of our mods here. Danny Boy. Shout out to Danny Boy. Claudia Yu is here. Shout out to you. Pelpa is in the building. I walk alone, says GM fam. You know what to do. Smash that like and share. Subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get them to 30K. I appreciate you. I walk alone. Reziak is here. My man E-Buck is here. Patrick Nand is here. Mr. Sheedy is in the building. Chief Axel. We met Chief Axel.
Yes,
he
sir.
is an amazing person. Shout out to you, my friend. HS Gamer is here. Chain Watcher. Mauricio. I said it right this time. I hope so. Cryptocurrencies, Ant-Man, No Limit Dude. And then we have Superfan is here. Shout out to Superfan. Then we have Zahid is here. Let's see. Sogol is here. Ethereum Blockchain is always here. Shout out to you, my friend. He says, hope you guys are good from the trip. Takes a lot to travel. Thanks for taking care of business for the members. Shout out to you, my friend. Thank you so much for always being here. Verge is here. Shout out to Verge. That's up GM. Let's see who's here. Cache Cats always bringing the coffee and the donuts. We appreciate you, my friend. Katie N is in the building. And then No Limit Dude says mint ordinals. Hell yeah, bro. Minute all the ordinals. Let's see if we have any last people coming here. I think that's it. I think No Limit Dude is the last. So go. Shout out to you, my friend. But that's it.
Yep. And we did meet Chief Axel. That was really, really cool. But I don't know if so he was representing the Unisat / BitBoy console booth there. So that could be a good idea. Get connected with these teams, see if they need representation at these events, right? So they might hook you up. I don't know if that's the case with him, but that was really, really cool.
100%. All right, guys, we've been waiting for it for a long time. The official leaderboard for Fluid DEX is now available. So you guys can now go to Fluid DEX and you hit up here. And it shows the top 25. But you can after this loads up, so you show the top 25, but you can hit your rankings up here, and it'll show you exactly where you're at. And if you were under, see, I am number 33. And if you were under 1,000, you are eligible for the Fluid Pass. The Fluid Pass is going to give you potentially a staking claim. You're potentially going to be able to stake the Fluid Pass to earn Fluid tokens, the FLDT token, once it becomes a rune. So I highly recommend, if you haven't used the swap yet, to use it, because I'm pretty sure one use, and all you got to do here is put in one trade 00005, and it's going to tell you how much dog you're going to get. You're going to swap it. And it's pretty quick if you have your wallet set up, and I do not. So I'm going to do that really quickly, because I haven't ever accessed my wallet yet.
Yeah, initially this competition was going to July 31st, but Raul did come out and say they're going to extend this. So we're going to get the exact date, because the leaderboard is very important. And, we just let them know that, for our users, community, people watching, they want to be able to track their progress, right? So the leaderboard is up. They did a great job getting that. Obviously, it was delayed. You got to remember how it's not so easy to work with Bitcoin's limitations here, but hopefully they can extend that to at least like August 15th, but I think Shizzy's trying to shoot for the beginning of September. We will let you guys know ASAP once we get confirmation on that.
So shout out to these guys at Fluid Tokens. The leaderboard is up. We're hanging out with Raul, like Yagobi said earlier. He was an amazing guy, amazing builder, one of the smartest people that I've ever met. And that's why I think we're bullish on Fluid, and why we have a partnership with them. So
100%.
All right. And I think we're gonna have Raul on Friday as well. So I asked him about it over the weekend, and he said, yeah, he thinks so. So look out for that. You guys can have your questions answered by him. All right. So use the DEX. Just use it. Just do one swap, and I think you're good. You might need to do 2 or 3 eventually, but as of right now, one swap will get you a pass. So use it. Use it now.
Yep.
All right. The next thing here, obviously we hit it on a little bit, but we'll just hit it on again. Babylon Bitcoin staking protocol. This protocol allows BTC holders to stake their BTC, providing security to different POS systems.
Yeah. So this is, I love the approach of Bitcoin providing security for other, POS chains, right? Obviously, the main, like you have Ethereum, that you use Ethereum to provide security, but like this is going to further concrete the perception of Bitcoin, right? Because now, like, other chains be using Bitcoin, and people are like, oh yeah, they use Bitcoin to secure their proof of stake, verification and validation, right? So I think this is really big in that aspect. I think it's kind of the narrative right now is starting to grow a bit. I think it's growing a little bit faster in the East. It is. I can pretty much guarantee that it's growing faster in the East. But this is attractive to whales, because imagine you have 5,000 Bitcoin or something, and you can earn 5%. That's huge for them, right? So we'll see how big this gets to, but I mean, imagine once Babylon does launch their chain, what their TVL is going to look like, because they have dipped into every Bitcoin layer 2 that they can so far, and they're working with Fractal right now too. So that's a lot of Bitcoin, and we've talked to Jeff about it and how fast it fills up, because they have like caps, right? And the caps get filled up so fast. So this is going to be very interesting to see, what their TVL ends up being.
Yeah, I agree. My only problem though is, like, so right now you're earning points, right? And I just think that if they don't come up with a solution for their own token, that when this airdrop happens, it's going to be kind of like anything else. It's going to be sold into Bitcoin very quickly. Race to the bottom, I call it. But borrowing and lending is the only real yield on Bitcoin. So something like Avalon, or something like similar to that, a Compound fork, or an Aave fork, they're the only real yields that you can really count on, because otherwise it's going to be a race to the bottom. But with these new projects, you do get, the token, right? You do get their token. And if you are bullish, and if we are entering a bull cycle, token could go up in value, even with the dip, because people come in and they want to buy it off the stakers, but at the end of the day, the only real yield in the space is borrowing and lending until something else is really created. So I'm bullish on Babylon. But the same way Lido works. The Lido token's kind of been down only, except in bullish momentum, because you're earning a Lido token for staking ETH. And the same thing kind of happened with Babylon, who's very similar to Lido in a way, which I think they could be the biggest Bitcoin staking. But at the end of the day, in a bear market, these things fail. You've seen that with Lido. But we'll see what happens in the future, and you might see, more liquid staking type of things as well. But as of right now, it's going to be a race to the bottom until bullish momentum really comes in strong.
Well, I don't think it's a race to the bottom now, but there will be a race to the bottom eventually, right? Once
Exactly.
the cycle reverses. I mean, we're just talking in theory, right? Speculation based off of theory and what we've seen in previous cycles. So, also, these whales, most of them most likely have experienced this type of situation model before. And so what they'll do is they'll earn the 5-10%, between 5 and 10%, and then have that, kind of milestone in their mind of when to pull out. But I think we need to wait and see what else they're going to offer, right? What is their token going to be about? Because I mean, you still have like Aave that is none of them have gone under completely, and gone away. Obviously, the centralized ones have, but we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how this plays out heading into the bull run, because I do think a lot of whales are going to make a lot of money from this. How much impact will it take for the sell down of the actual Babylon token once the chain comes out? Who knows? It's going to be definitely at some point very impactful, right? Because you want to make sure that you're not holding the bags, especially if you have like 5,000 Bitcoin in there, right? So,
100%. You are risking your Bitcoin at the same time. You're giving up not your keys, not your Bitcoin, not your keys, not your crypto. So you are giving away your Bitcoin. So, but I think Babylon's very trusted at this point. They're one of the biggest in the space. And we've actually met people from that business as well. Moving on here. You have a lightning on that?
No,
or are you good?
No, okay. You covered it. Perfect.
Tap Wild and Explorer, only 48 hours left until the Tap Marketplace goes live. So shout out to these guys. This is not the official from the Tap team, but this is a community built Tap Wild and Explorer. It's going live in 48 hours. I'm hearing it's going to be a lot of DMT stuff as well. So shout out to these guys, man. Really building, jumping ahead, front running the Tap team with this as of right now. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I need to see it, right? They did communicate to us that 48 hours is kind of that clock. So, hey, more power to them if they front run the Tap team for the marketplace, because I think at this point you just need one, right?
Yeah.
And so they've really been working behind the scenes. They did request to come on Tap Tuesday, so we're going to get them on, and hopefully the marketplace will be there to showcase. I think that's going to be an excellent segment if that's the case. And then we get to play with some Tap tokens, guys. And I know that there's probably, some of you guys that have minted early like us and have these random Tap tokens in your wallets and stuff. And so now you get to actually list them, buy them, sell them. And so that's going to be super exciting if it's ready in 48 hours.
Yeah, Tap ecosystem is going to be one of the biggest, biggest, volume, I think, in this upcoming bull market that we're going to see very early. I think you're going to see a lot of volume really early with Tap, but who knows, right? Anything can happen. Keeping it to the Tap ecosystem, all round 2 track validator license sold out quickly. That's now 600 licenses sold over rounds 1 and 2. So you do earn a 15% yield on the validator, so which is pretty big, because it's depending on the price of track, the amount of Tap you'll be getting. So how do you feel about this? And it just gets more and more expensive and more track to keep this going in round 3 and round 4 and etc. So round 1 was 300 track, round 2 was 500 track, and I think round 3 is 800 track. So you're going to see less and less track in the marketplaces available.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting once it gets high up there. Like it goes I think that the highest number is 10,000 track, right?
Yeah.
Per validator, right? So
100%.
It's going to be very, very interesting to see what the price point is with track at that point. Obviously, right now the market is weird because Bitcoin is trying to figure out where it wants to go. It has methodically gone up, right? Obviously aggressively in spurts, but we're sitting at 68,000, and I don't think we're going to see the Bitcoin ecosystem assets really see any positive effect until Bitcoin is maybe at like 74,000, something like that. Yeah, obviously 72,000, probably people get excited again, but like really 74,000, 75,000, people made some profit, right? And then we'll see, because right now what we're seeing with Track in this validator situation is price goes up, but then it corrects very quickly because we're sitting at a floor of $1.86, right?
Yeah.
But I think that pulled up from probably like $1.65, $1.70 before that, right? So
100%. And our last thing before we get into Merlin Monday would be Xverse and DotSwap partnership. So you can now use the swap feature on Xverse, and that allows you to do an automatic swap using DotSwap's very centralized liquidity pools, which is, pretty different from the aspect of selling how we normally sell things. So this is pretty cool. You can now swap directly through the Xverse wallet. This is a big deal, right?
Yeah, I mean, anything that gets integrated into like a popular wallet, in my opinion, is that gives you a leg up, right? Because if you know how certain wallets work with dApps and stuff like that, you can have easy access to them. It's really good because it's marketing as well as someone putting faith in you, right?
Yeah.
Now, I feel like DotSwap has gotten a lot of attention and spotlight recently. But they've been around for a while. They've been around for a while trying to kind of knock on doors. And so we'll see where this goes, if it's utilized, how much it's utilized, because volume is going to really determine like how much this is being adopted. Because I've heard some people talk about it, but I haven't heard people, just say, okay, this is the number one solution. This is what we've been waiting for, type of thing, right? So we'll just kind of have to see how this plays out. Yeah. But the integration itself is definitely a positive for DotSwap.
And there's a lot of competition coming for DotSwap. Obviously, Fluid is the only real non-custodian, right? They're not actually custodian because you're just creating a limit order, and then they're breaking pieces of your limit order to give you. So they do everything in the background, but they do not hold any of your liquidity. You create the liquidities in your limit order. DotSwap also has a lot of competition coming, especially from Odin and many more centralized LP pools, providers, swaps. So we will see what comes from that. But as of right now, DotSwap is first. And in this space, first is first. It actually means a lot. So we'll see. And especially shout out to Xverse, man. Those guys are nonstop building. And we met the CEO over the weekend as well.
Yep. It's exciting stuff, guys. All right. So guys, please, we got 214 people in here watching us. Please put your questions in the chat for the Merlin builders as well as Jeff, so we can get some Q&A at the end of this. But without further ado, let's bring our guy Jeff up to give some updates on Merlin Chain and what is to come.
Yo, what's up, Jeff?
Yo, guys. What is going on in Nashville? Sorry, I didn't go there.
No worries. It was super fun, super exciting. Met a ton of people in real life that we've met either on our show or just different channels and stuff before. So that was awesome, and I think there was good alpha that came out. A lot of stuff that we already knew, but stuff that we could expand on the knowledge that we already knew. So
yeah,
but you are at the Trump speech, right? Are you guys there?
Yes. We weren't physically in the room because we didn't want to wait in the line. But we were in the press room. So there's a press room, and we were in there because we're press. We had our badges for press. No, but we were in there, and we actually snuck a Knox in there with us. So it was a fun time watching it. But yeah, the energy was definitely crazy for that speech.
Yeah. Like just see the Bitcoin price, goes up and down recently, and So I'm actually having like a little headache today, so I probably just like leave after this. Sorry about that. I'll definitely be better next week, of course. And I think we're doing some stuff recently. I just retweeted like a Twitter tonight. With we are actually going to talk to the builders in Telegram ecosystems. I will be there, giving some stablecoin grants out of my own pocket because I think we talked that before. We need to bridge the gap between Bitcoin and other ecosystems, because right now to the broader ecosystem users, they really don't understand what Bitcoin eco is. They think, okay, I heard some meme coins of BS20, I heard some meme coins of runes, but it just looks like they're dead right now. Basically that's like 99% of of the people's opinions like today. So we are actively expanding these ecosystems. We'll have some partnerships with other chains DEX and as well. The second thing is, we just announced the airdrop from Orzar on Merlin. I think the numbers there, we're giving out 100,000 airdrops. So that's like the biggest airdrops of Orzar. So I'm just like I think they need to mint that on the Orzar website. So yeah, just do that while the gas is low. We never know about tomorrow's gas, but I think recently the gas is pretty low. And like we talked before, the Solve protocol, first 500 Bitcoin, 14 hours, second 500 Bitcoin, 30 minutes, third in 2 minutes, and they just launched their fourth 500 Bitcoin in 12 minutes. So I don't know. I'm still going to talk to Solve team tomorrow. I don't understand like why people are going so crazy. Right now it's like 2,000 Bitcoin, and I don't know if that can goes on, but yeah, we will see. But yeah, but I can definitely see the volume coming more from BNB chain, to be honest, not from Merlin chain, the fourth vault. That's not something I'm afraid. I'm not afraid to talk about, because I think that's a good thing. To get more people from even BNB or Arbitrum to get interested in Babylon, in all these Bitcoin like liquid restaking tokens and stuff. And yeah, the new version of BMap.game will be live this week with smart contracts. So the first version, will be a different land. Right now, it's just like one times one, right? The small land. We'll have 2 times 2, 3 times 3 to 20 times 20. So like different environments, different things to play. You have to pay BMap tokens to have the bigger lands, and also 100% of the tokens to the stakers who staked Merl. So we're not taking any fees. It's just like if you want to have a bigger land to build like bigger stuff, you have to pay like small shares of the 400 tokens, and also the stakers get tokens. So actually we're trying to get like 5-10 different tokens involved into this metaverse, like we talked before. And yeah, the new version of BS420 website is coming live this week too. And yeah, basically like that's on the top of my mind. Of course, we have like lots of DApps going on, but before they launch, I don't want to talk too much about them, because sometimes it's scam. I don't want to back up a project that hasn't been launched yet. We see that like a lot. Actually, there are some people talking like they're a scam this project or that project, and they hate when the chain back them up before they get like actual volume stuff. And also the surf, they finally allows people to stake Merl there, but because for the past week the price is always going up, so the APY for the LP is actually low, because retail users, they only long the token, they don't like to short the token. So right now we see the price going down, probably the APY is higher. So yeah, so being LP, basically you are against the retail users mindset. Yeah, I think that's things on my mind right now. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me. Yeah.
Yep. I have a generalized question for you. First of all, excited about BRC 420 Marketplace being released this week. I think that's going to be huge for that asset class. But in general, with the market conditions kind of going up and down, being kind of volatile, but it seems like recently it's been a methodical work back up. What are the builders, and what's your mindset in terms of like Bitcoin and do you feel like we've seen the last big dump, or do you feel like it's going to be now we're kind of be leading towards that first leg up into this bull run? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, generally every people I speak with they think we're of course on the bull run. I'm not saying that just to be polite or anything. I'm a very transparent guy, but the bad thing is I think most of people are very, very just not confident about the altcoins. The meme coins, the sats, the Ordi, the Merl, like all these altcoins, even like Ethereum. So I think they think this bull run is for the ETF coins tokens, but not for the altcoins. So basically, when you see the Bitcoin price coming from 53,000 to today 70,000, right? You see like huge pump. But when you look at like ordinals and NFTs, when you look at BRC20, most of them are not recovering at all. Yeah, like I saw a picture today. I think all these major blue chips are going down in a long run. So I think that part is what we worry about, because we're not whales, right? We don't have 1,000 Bitcoin or 10,000 Bitcoin. So that price going up is not necessarily benefiting like us, like the little guy. So I think that's a part the builders, the community should be worried about. Like I said before, the stable coin is still like the low point. There's no money into this market. So yeah.
Gotcha.
I have a question for you, Jeff. So my biggest takeaway going in from Nashville was that a lot of these L2s or side chains, they're not really building for L1 assets like Merlin is. Why do you think they're not even considering like bridging runes, ordinals, BRC20s to their chain? They're kind of doing the Ethereum stuff and a lot of liquid staking stuff, but that's really it. Why do you think that is?
Because I think BRC20 and runes and ordinals are not consensus yet. People still don't think this will work. We are actually a small group of people who actually believes in this. And even, among us, we have different theories, right? Some people love BMAP, some people love, no monkeys. So like we are already a small group of people, and we're still, putting our money into like too many like diversified assets, which will not make the product make the price go up. And from the outsiders, these builders, if you check their background, like I would say half of them are not, like haven't even bought ordinals before, to be honest. And even though they bridge runes to their chains, the liquidity, the trading volume will still be very low. And I talked to them, and if you guys go to like Twitter space with them, they never talk about runes and BRC20s, because in their mind, BRC20 and runes and ordinals are already dead, to be honest. So I think that's like a mindset. But the venture capitals, they are trying to push the narrative about liquid restaking with Bitcoin, because Bitcoin with yields is a sexy topic. With 1.4 trillion dollar Bitcoin, with like 3% yield, that generates like a multi-billion market share. So these people will get rich. So I think that's the narrative we're trying to push. If you guys ever talk to a VC, in Silicon Valley, in Singapore, about ordinals and runes, they'll look they'll look at you like a child.
Wow. Okay. So they're ignoring us, right? So maybe we should ignore them back, right? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I feel like they have more of a TradFi mindset, right? Yeah. So they're looking at safe, secure as much as possible, not high risk assets. But there will be, in my opinion, a point in this run where so many people have made so much money, they're going to want to gamble, right? We're just not there.
Yep. Yes. That happens before. When you make money on Bitcoin or Ethereum, you'll spend that money on other meme coins or NFTs or GameFis or whatever. But like when we see that coming, we'll easily see some blue chips goes up like 10 times higher, even more. So, but the point is we haven't seen that. When we saw that, you will see VCs with their wallets coming to the community, say I'll give you $1 million, I'll give you $2 million, just make some fast money in like Axie, Infinity, or Sandbox or Steppen. But that just hasn't happened yet. And we look at like the secondary market. All these altcoins are going down. We look at all these new listings on Binance and OKX. Most of them are really, really bad right now. But when you look at the VC market right now, I saw like news every day. This company raised like 10 million. This company raised like 20 million. There's a new company, by Sandeep, raised like $90 million US. So I think that's really strange. People, they have money on on their like VC investing. But right now, we look at all these VC invested company going listed with the tokens, the price is really bad. So I don't know when that will balance out.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I mean, it makes sense, but I mean, you can even look back into the 2017 bull run. There was no DeFi at that time. but the tokens that the altcoins went up when the craze of Bitcoin craze was like it was popping off, right, getting close to 20,000. Then all these other tokens just naturally benefited from it. That will happen. We just gotta be patient, right? We've seen benefits from Bitcoin going up. Like we always talk about, Shizzy, and in our space we have these little mini bull runs. We've seen it benefit from Bitcoin's price action. I think that there's been a little bit of exhaustion though, PvP, that's happened, and this time Bitcoin's going to have to get to like 75, 80,000 for those profits to flow back into some of these riskier assets, and then eventually, once we're going up and money's flying around everywhere, that's whenever the big money could be made.
Yeah, I think that brings on risk on, right? Risk on is a big deal. I think that comes with cheaper interest rates, because right now you can get 5% interest rates just by putting it in a bond, right? So the bigger money is going to come in and going to come into even higher risk on assets in the future for sure.
Yeah, just one more thing, and so I mean, this year is better than last year, So what, like, all the things I said is because I trust in a small group of people. When the majority think Bitcoin ecosystem doesn't exist, I think I will bet on the minority, the small group of people, because like these, like, you cannot make everyone rich, So I think it's good to stay in like small circle right now, but us as builders should expand this to more and more people, and at some point we'll see what we want to see for a long time. And one more thing is we are actually getting more exposure and expansion in the US market right now. We are going to have some legal opinions from the law firms who are getting like audited by the US firms. We are getting some reports down by the top 1 and top 2 research company of crypto in the US. So we're because like right now, when you see all these Bitcoin layer 2s, you just don't understand, right? Like I read your comments, like many people don't really understand Bitcoin layer 2. They just simply hate the idea. I don't know why. Just like when they hate Ethereum when Ethereum came out. So I think we need to have more education. Because like I talked to some people else, they don't even know Bob is using Ethereum as gas fee, and also they're doing Ethereum rollups. So I think like 99% of people don't understand the difference between different projects. So we are getting some reports down. We are getting more exposure in these firms like globally, and I think just like try to build more, educate more, and we'll eventually see some good things happen.
100%.
Awesome. Well, we got one last question for you, and we're gonna let you go, Jeff. I promise. We got Yashir. He says, any plan to be more active on Telegram? I saw BitGenie Tap to Earn app, which was great. Does this flow going to continue to other Merlin dApps in your ecosystem? So I know you spoke on this a little bit, but if you could real quick kind of explain to Yashir what your approach is going to be for this.
Yeah, first, I think Telegram is the only place we can get massive adoption. We cannot get new users anywhere. If you want to ask people to download Xverse or Unisat, it's impossible. Even if you want them to understand what is MetaMask or like Solana chain, like Phantom, it's impossible. So first, we think Telegram is the only place you can get massive adoption. Second, me myself, I self-invested several companies of Telegram. BitGenie, they're doing that as well. We have more coming, and also, like I said, we're doing some like hackathon, like from town ecosystem, Telegram ecosystems, and also invite them to build stuff for Bitcoin users. So I definitely this is the way to go, because we need more users, like ordinals users. Like we saw so many users of ordinals. They never used MetaMask before because they're new and they have faith and they're diamond hand, and of course they are the one who has passion to be loyal to this community, not the guys from other ecosystems. They just go back and forth, right? If they see something from Ethereum, they just go for it. They don't put their money and stay in Bitcoin. So I definitely think this is the way to go. And also we are working with the future biggest town layer 2 right now to make sure they have liquidity. Actually, town official, they just announced they're going to have a bridge with Bitcoin to town ecosystems and chains. So who has Bitcoin? Merlin. Nobody else has that much of Bitcoin on their EVM chains. So yeah, I think just it needs more time. That's all. But we definitely think Telegram and Tom is the way to go.
Awesome.
Amazing.
I'm excited about that. Well, Jeff, we appreciate you jumping on with us. We know you're not feeling great, so we'll see you next Monday on Merlin Mondays, and take care of yourself.
Yeah, and we'll see the new version of BMAP game this week, and also Beyond 20. Yeah, see you guys.
Oh yeah,
See
excited
you,
about
man.
that.
Looking forward to that for sure.
See you later,
Thanks,
Jeff.
Jeff. All right.
Awesome,
We're gonna bring up next.
So let's get Fonzie and McDurr up because they are on a time crunch, and then we're gonna get Sam because he was first in. But let's get Fonzie up from Ordinal Hive, guys. We're gonna bring Fonzie and McDurr up. All right, let's do it.
Yo, what's up, guys? GM, how's it
Going
going?
on?
Good. How are you guys doing? It was such a great pleasure, like meeting you guys in Nashville. It's always a different experience, but man, it was time. It was time we did that.
For
Yeah,
sure.
man. It was awesome. Yeah.
Busy schedules though, right? Like everybody had their own busy schedule. I remember you had to leave somewhere to run over just to take a quick picture with us.
Yeah,
And then you had to go
exactly.
somewhere else. And so that
Yeah.
was exciting, but obviously a little bit, it can get stressful, right? Because you want to meet with everybody. We obviously didn't meet with a couple of people that we would love to have, but just the schedules didn't make sense this time.
Yeah.
But let's talk a little bit about, first, let's start off with your experience in Nashville. What was that like for you guys? You guys launched recently the
Yeah.
beta version, and then where you guys are with your application.
Yeah, 100%. Man, it was such a great experience. Like there's nothing beats IRL. Like nothing beats IRL stuff. Like there was moments where for the first time I also was like a Nuki fan, right? So the Nuki community were there. Sam, Sage, Mythico, Chico, like Zach, Spicy, and like a couple others. Like they were all there. So it was so nice like interacting with them, and like that's kind of the ecosystem vibe itself, right? You do this stuff because at the end it's like it's fun. It's like your passion. So, you just talk with them and talking to different communities too in the space. Like, sure, like a lot of the things, like, market sentiment, it's not there. Even Jeff just like recently came up here and discussed that, in the Asian community, like Singapore and others, they probably don't look at runes or even ordinals the way we do it. We look at them, right? And that's okay. I think it takes time for markets to mature, get better. And, that's kind of like the feel, that's kind of the vibe I got when I was in Nashville. Like, it was just so much going on. The adoption is crazy. Like, even Donald Trump going up there and saying like he wants to buy X amount of Bitcoin, if you guys president is insane. So like the adoption is there, and it's like one of many like kind of snowballing effects, dominoes that will fall and like just give way to this new sort of kind of DeFi on Bitcoin. And so it's very much bullish, and for us, like one of the biggest things I love doing, as well as like talking with people, talking to traders themselves, and seeing like how we can better optimize their sort of user feel, like experience. How can we like optimize them on them themselves? And so doing that to also give us like a clear direction of like where we're going towards, and allows us to kind of add specific things, kind of make it more catered towards their trading experience, make it better overall. So yeah, it was overall positive. There were so many great things, so many moving parts. As you say, everyone was so busy, so many business like side events people were attending to. But yeah, overall it was a great, like very insightful, and it's an experience that definitely will cherish forever.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing real quick is that, like, I know Jeff said that there's a lot of people not paying attention to our space and all these things right now, which is fine because we don't need them paying too much attention right now. What we need to do is making sure they're paying attention whenever the Bitcoin's at like 120,000, right? But everybody needs to remember, like, the ordinal space is very impactful. It got someone from our community has gotten Opcat to be pretty much going to get added back to the core code, right? So that's really, really relevant. So I agree with you. I think it's just a maturity thing. It's going to take time, and we'll get there.
Exactly. And then I mean, Nashville was fantastic. I flew in this morning, so like I had a connecting flight from like the earliest I could get was from Nashville to Vegas. Stayed there for 5 hours and flew back into LA. So I'm a little sleep deprived. I haven't slept much, but I think as you say, like the energy was there. Like the fact that someone in the community was able to get some piece of code Opcat, like potentially added back into the core, and knowing Bitcoin is like a dash, like never changed, never like kind of even updates. It's just crazy, right, to think about. So that's kind of the power they have in the ecosystem. So that's good.
100%. Yeah, man, it was absolutely amazing to meet you, man. What kind of we can tell us about Ordinal Hive and any updates with that? I've been playing with it, and it looks pretty good. It's actually faster and faster every time I use it.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. So we'll be having a listing competition in the month of August, and then we're also maybe some alpha too. Like we're gonna work on the irrigation part. We're gonna have an irrigator added to this as well. So you'll see multiple listings from multiple marketplaces too that traders can kind of look at. A cool feature too is you can bulk list. So you can if you have 100 bitmap, 100 frogs, you can bulk list, and then we're gonna make sure to also ladder it. So you can list them at different prices later down the road. So that would be some updates we'll be shipping. But yeah, the entire month of August is for us to get more listings on the platform and stuff, more trading there, and then just partnering up with different communities too. We'll announce those partnerships at a later time, but bringing in people as well, giving us feedback. We still are in beta, so it's closed up. But once we hone it down, nail it, and kind of get to the specific metrics we want to get to, we'll open this live and yeah, it will be free to use. It's very fun to use XBOT. So yeah, I think it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm loving it, man. I got what are my portfolio? My points 400 points. I'm grinding it up.
Let's go.
Nice,
and obviously
nice.
we all know what points are, but yeah, man, it's looking phenomenal.
Yeah, no, thanks, appreciate it. Yeah, and again, it goes back to feedback. It goes back to going back to traders, listening what they want, and what they want us to build at the end, right? That's what matters the most. And so for us, it's literally that's the direction we're heading towards, and it's all about planning and execution. That's it. That's our model. Build fast, and go from there.
Yeah, for the audience that doesn't know who and what Ordinal Hive is, kind of imagine the Blur of Bitcoin type of deal. You can earn points through trading, and then redeem those points for something else down the road, right? That will be announced. But it is built on Merlin. And so you do have to bridge your ordinals and your ordinals over to Merlin Chain, but there's incentives that you guys are going to announce with that in the future as well, right?
Absolutely, 100%. So there is incentives if you already bridge your assets over to Merlin Chain back in January, February time, you can just list those. Those are easy to list and stuff. So we're gonna be doing campaigns to kind of target those, market that, make sure people know you can list those. And then there's also the bridging component too. Right now, I believe Merlin Chain, there's no fee to it. It's just a simple transaction, so you can bridge over the assets there. And I think that'll be the best way about it. And then I think when it comes down to it, that's one of the biggest things we want to get over the course of the next 2 weeks, just more listings on the platform, people to list at a specific price, competitive price in the market too. And we also have a point system blog posts, so you'll know what gives you points, listing at a specific the price that people can sort of buy and go from there. And I see a question here. It says, "Hey guys, can I send my address on Discord?"
That was actually for that. Oh, that was actually for us. I actually didn't see that he said Discord. So yes, Kai Effect, do it on Discord. Put it in there, and we'll get it. He was a winner before, but his Twitter had issues. So
got you. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so I definitely want to keep the pass too, and we're gonna announce a couple more things on the pass later on too. So there's some excitement there. But yeah, I think overall it's gonna be a pretty good busy next month and so forth.
Gotcha.
Yeah, man.
Awesome.
I have a question from McDar. McDar, what kind of what are you working on, man? What's been going on? What's your main overview?
Yeah, we've been doing some more development side of stuff. So we're still because now that we did beta launch, we're still kind of figuring that out on our ends, what we want to focus on next. So that's what's been keeping us pretty busy, or at least me busy on the tech side of stuff. So yeah, I mean, I think that there's some interesting ways to look at the eco. I guess Ordinals trading is down, but we do think it's going to return the volume at least. So yeah, we're definitely curious, curious you guys' thoughts on that as well, and just the general eco. I know you guys were at Nashville. I didn't get a chance to go, but yeah, maybe another conference I could see you guys.
Yeah, we just need risk to come on, right? Right now, everyone's very happy getting their gains from Bitcoin. Everyone's very happy and okay with not being very degen. And I think the time comes though when your Bitcoin goes up, because a lot of people, they don't like using their own money, right? But when Bitcoin goes up in value, let's just say they put 10K in Bitcoin and then Bitcoin shoots up 30%. Now they have 5K they feel comfortable taking and putting that in the more degen things, right? So I call that house money. People like to use house money to gamble. They don't like to use their own money. So once Bitcoin goes up 70, 80, 90,000, you're going to see a lot of money coming in the ordinals and runes and definitely some layer 2 type stuff as well.
Yeah. And real quick shout out to Tiny Vikings. They so on the Ord House they had like a sort of gambling event they threw, which was amazing. It was like a poker casino kind of night. So they had the blackjack, they had like all these other cool games. So yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. Just yeah.
That's awesome. Shout out to Lars. I met Lars down in Nashville. He's an awesome guy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, we appreciate both of you guys jumping on and giving us an update about Ordinal Hive. Guys, make sure that you guys check out the platform. Obviously, it's closed beta right now, but it's going to be open, I would imagine, not too much longer. And so get those points before everybody's using it, right? Because you want to get that lead. And like Shizzy, he already has 400, so you can keep your lead. But before we let you go, any last words or anything for the audience?
Yeah, real quick, even though it's beta, it's closed beta, just come into Discord, chat with us. We're very friendly and welcoming and stuff. So like, if you want to try out. I think the best, using the platform now is the best time to get the OG points. And there would never be an easier time to gain points during this time. So yeah, if you definitely want to come on, use the platform, be one of our kind of power users, stress test it, kind of enjoy it, like break even. Just come on Discord, ping me, and then we'll get you recorded.
Awesome.
Sounds great. Thanks, guys.
Yep. All right, fellas. We'll talk soon.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Cheers.
All right, man. Yeah, dude, definitely bullish on what they're building for sure. 100%. I think Ordinal Hive being the, the blur of Merlin and blur of Bitcoin could be absolutely huge going into a bull market because these points and leaderboard things, it's going to be very big, especially when we get more and more collections over here. Definitely really bullish on Ordinal Hive and what they're building on Merlin.
Yeah, it's going to be whenever everybody's super degen, right? Which we know that's coming. It's like, when is it coming though, right? And I'm actually not too surprised that it's not here right now because, 67,000, everybody's waiting. They don't want to sell their Bitcoin until they've hit another all-time high or higher, right? And then, like you said, use house money to start that market going again.
The biggest problem is, it's either we've been floating between 53 and 72 for the last 150 days. You don't know if it's going to go back down to 53 again. I mean, we've been just up to 70, down to 50, up to 70, down to 50. So you don't want to be buying these assets going back down to 50 potentially. I don't think it's going to happen, but you just don't really know, right? So everyone's just waiting to get into the next big, sideways action. I think that happens between 80 and 90,000.
Yeah. Makes complete sense. All right, guys, we got two more guests. We're gonna bring up Sam from Veralium DEX, see if he can give us an update on that platform.
Yo, what's up, Sam? Welcome back, buddy.
Hey, what's up, guys? How are you guys doing?
Doing well, man.
Good,
How are
man.
you?
Good. So it seems like Nashville, Tennessee was a hit. So it was pretty good to hear some of the politicians and what they had to say. So it's the start of a new era almost, it seems like, with the way the politicians are turning in these past few months, So it's pretty exciting times. But yeah, no, I mean, Veralium DEX. So we were in fact going to launch last week, but decided to hold on because we need to redeploy the contract. Because there's in terms of liquidity providing, once you provide the liquidity, you can re-amend the contract. So we need to and then there was a little bit of a miscalculation in it. So, but that's all sorted out. We're gonna redeploy the contract within the next 24 hours. Actually, I was talking to the devs, and we had a meeting this morning. So, yeah, I mean, that all is going to be completed, and we are likely going to launch this week. Just going to see how things, I want to test a few things out in the next couple of days, and then we should be good to go. It's my hope. I mean, at the time of the launch, we will definitely have Veralium Mine staking live. So, the fees has been pretty low lately. You guys can just port it over and just kind of hold it on Merlin to stake. But we are going to limit US IPs because we don't want to deal with certain things, and I think it's the right thing to do. But yeah, it's pretty exciting. Everything is going to be live, and then over time we're going to work with BRC 420s. That would be what our next focus is going to be, where you could just come and stake BRC 420s on our platform, and we'll figure out a way to give multiple yields on it. Um, but yeah, that's kind of where Veralium DEX is and should be live soon. Pretty excited. Looking at the analytics page and everything, it's looking pretty sweet. So I'm pretty stoked about it.
Yeah, man, I'm very excited for what you guys are building over there, man. My biggest question right now is so there's two ways of really giving your token to the community, right? The one way is doing an airdrop to users, and the other way is really just kind of what you guys are doing with the staking. You're going to be able to stake, the Veralium mines, obviously, and then what you just said, the BRC 420s. Why go this route instead of the airdrop route? And what do you see the benefits of?
I think with the way we're doing it, it just, I mean, I think it doesn't matter whether you do it one way or the other. The end result is the same in terms of like the mathematics of it, right? With that being said, in terms of like Veralium DEX itself, it's like a governance kind of token. There's no, and the success purely depends on certain factors, right? Which is the user base growing on Merlin, new tokens launching, and then we grab that liquidity, right? That would be the underlying driver. And I would much rather rely on that than like some airdrop or something like that, because to do an airdrop, it's not that hard. You can just airdrop all the tokens and let it be, which we can do it that way too. But considering what the somewhat of the market standards are in terms of like incentivizing certain like liquidity providers or things like that, that does make a difference. So so that's just the it's not going to be like we're going to make sure that the underlying value that comes in from like anyone who gets the new token is a network effect, right? Like a new like because network effect I think is more powerful, like growing the user base is then just freely like giving the token to anyone that is there, right? So if you can use the token to expand the network even more, I think that's what the objective is, and also liquidity providing. Yeah, so that's just the reason why we chose to do staking instead of just dropping it to everyone.
Yeah. From my perspective, airdrops don't work. Airdrops are just easy ways for the community to get more Bitcoin. They dump your token and it's a race to the bottom, right? For the way you guys are doing it, it's really kind of pushing the fact that you're holding assets and you're earning these tokens, which gives these tokens more value, because if you earn them, you feel differently than just getting something dropped in your pocket and then you're easily dumped that. But if you sat there for months and months earning these tokens, it gives me a bigger reason to hold them, and I feel like they're worth more. Is that something you see as well?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think like time is value, right? Like I think even someone
Exactly.
going on our platform and even if it's like 10, 20 seconds of a certain action, it is a valuable thing, right? So someone even making one transaction on our platform is valuable. Um, and I think that's important to realize. So for example, like I don't think airdrops necessarily don't work in every situation. In some situation they actually do work, right? If you have like 1 million people that you can airdrop tokens to, and then you make those 1 million people do like 1 or 2 tasks on your platform, even if you retain 10,000, it's worth it. You understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
So it's not completely like useless, but I think there's more value in the task that's performed, whether it be staking, whether it be whatever, like ZK saying, or all these other platforms made you do certain tasks, right, to make you familiar with their platform and how their token works. So I think that's valuable.
100%. I agree.
Yep. My last question for you is, what made you want to kind of focus on the BRC 420 asset class for the single staking? I think it's a great idea, but what made you, you said that that's kind of like the next big thing for y'all?
I think it's just, I mean, me personally, I am excited about BRC 420s. I know like there's certain aspects of, the volume and things like that, which it's like such a like new ecosystem, right? It's like a class of its own. It's so niche. It's a niche inside a niche. So it's like very risky. It's super like you could say like leveraged in a way, right? Bitcoin price goes up, then something else goes up, and then it may go up, it's but in any case, like I really like the idea of like 3D assets in a metaverse, and then you can just issue a certain amount of it. I think that's a new concept, and I like it. I personally do like bitmap.game too, and I think it's pretty cool. I mean, I minted in the first 100K bitmaps, right? So I'm also a core user in a way. But I think it makes sense, like how our platform is and where things are with it. It makes sense for us to like allow staking for all BRC 420 tokens, and I'm sorry, yeah, 420 tokens, and have them issue a token against it and give it in yield for that staking pool, right? Something like that. I think that's pretty cool, and you can maybe even attach pump.fun kind of dynamics to it, because we have the capability to do that, but it has to be executed properly. We'll see how that unfolds, but in the near future, it'll just be staking that you could expect to go live
Yeah.
pretty soon for all BRC 420s or some of the more relevant ones.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
I think the BRC 420 community is probably going to be very appreciative, because there's probably been sitting in their wallets for a very long time, and it's perfect timing because the BRC 420 marketplace is being updated this week, and I'm excited about that as well. So can't wait till you guys go live. Can we get a commitment that you'll jump on a live stream with us once you do go live?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Like once like I'm live and I feel like everything is good, and I test it to my like we've been testing this for a very long time. We just want to make sure everything is good. Yeah, definitely we'll go on your stream, we'll demo the platform, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, and the time has to be right? If you would have launched this 2 months ago, like you were planning, I don't think you would have the success you're going to get by launching in August, right? Launching in August really has that renewed optimism that I think is going to come back in the market. So I think you guys did it right by waiting as well. I know you guys were testing, but the timing I think is going to be perfect for you guys, especially going into August and September. Do you feel the same way?
I think like preparation and opportunity has to line up for sure. But for me, like I think in my mind, I would have launched this a week ago, even when Bitcoin was at 53K. I probably would have launched it, but I wouldn't even launch it if I don't like it doesn't meet a certain place in my mind, right? Like I need to see certain things, and once those things are executed that way on the platform and I can do it, then we're good to go. And we're very close to it. It was just like there's this thing when you deploy a new contract, it's just I put like the wrong number in there, so we have to redeploy the whole thing. So once that is done, and then we'll be live. Again, like I as I said, like it's timing is good, but I would have launched it if everything was working perfectly. But it takes time.
Sounds good, man. Thank you for your honesty and your dedication and hard work, man. Can't wait to play.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys.
All right, Sam. Well, appreciate you, jumping on with us. I know that I think you're with your family and stuff, so we really appreciate that. We will talk to you soon, sir.
All right, thank you, guys. Thank you for having me up here. Yeah, we'll connect and we'll do a platform demo once we're live, and it'll be pretty soon. So pretty excited. Let's go.
Sounds great,
awesome.
Man. Let's go.
Awesome. All right. See you later.
Yeah, man.
Perfect.
A week, man. We're so getting closer.
I mean, it has been. It's kind of. I feel like this is like the biggest anticipation like bubble, but it'll be worth it. I think so. I know there's a bunch of Veralium mine holders that are waiting to be able to stake their mines, and it's coming, guys. Believe me, we hold mines too, right? Yeah. So, once that's there, it's going to be awesome to be able to stake those and earn the Veralium gas token. So yeah, excited for that.
But last but definitely not least, man, we got Unicross in the building. Mr. J, these guys are building so much for the Merlin ecosystem. A big infrastructure play on Merlin. Mr. J, welcome back to Ordinal Revolution.
Yo, what's up, guys? Always good to be here. Thanks for inviting me. And yeah, what's up?
What's up, man?
Yep, man. We just finished the Nashville conference. Obviously, you've heard all about that this entire time, being in the background there, but it was super fun. What can you say about Unicross and what you guys have new for what you're doing on Merlin and to come?
So something new, I think something I haven't mentioned before in previous episodes would be something to complement our marketing, which is a campaign to improve and onboard users in a meaningful way in terms of like Bitcoin assets. So we're thinking of running a campaign for uncommon goods, and we'll be having more details of that coming out soon. Uncommon goods was the first runes, and we believe that it will have its run in history. So we'll be having a campaign to really make use of this time where gas is low, and it's a good time to start inscribing or etching runes.
Yeah, Rune Zero, man. You can actually inscribe this right on Merlin, right, using your platform?
Yeah, you can. And because we really want to have a very good experience for users, so we'll be having more like I would say cool features that go with it.
Awesome. And for the audience that doesn't know about Unicross, Unicross is a huge infrastructure application on Merlin. They are one of the reasons why a lot of these assets are bridgeable over from Bitcoin's native layer to Merlin Chain. So, I think we got to give them a big, thanks for all they've done and, what they're going to do in the future, because I think they're going to be a major asset to the chain, to both chains, really, because at the end of the day, guys, flexibility matters a lot with these layer one assets. And, just quite frankly, there's no flexibility on Bitcoin's native layer because of the limitations. Will that come in the future? Who knows? Probably, maybe at least like in the next 2 to 5 years. But until then, Merlin Chain is trying to fill that void, and Unicross is a big part of that. So speaking of that, Mr. J, I know you guys see volume of bridging and all that stuff. I'm sure that it's slowed down quite a bit just because people are waiting for, see where Bitcoin heads. What are you guys' mindset in terms of when things could get busy again?
You mean like predicting when there's going to be more users in this ecosystem?
When Lambo.
When Lambo. I wish I could tell you that, man. So I would go and start buying myself as well. But from how things are looking right now, okay, let's see what's going on. The charts are telling us, wow, Bitcoin is pumping. This is good news. In a way, it is. But we do see quite fragmented users across different chains. You have people on ETH, people on Solana, people on Ordinals, and other Bitcoin layer 2s. And sometimes we forget to, like, for us builders, we don't really look outside of this zone that we're building on. So in general, like the market itself still needs a bit of excitement for more users to come in. But this issue of like fragmented liquidity across different chains and users fragmented across different chains, we're thinking of a solution, a decentralized solution, to bring all of these users together to have this guarantee of security of your assets on Bitcoin, but also being able to utilize them across multiple chains. So that's something that I think you mentioned just now about being fully decentralized. Yeah, We did start this journey, being pretty, I would say, pretty centralized in a way. But I think I've mentioned this many times before as well, is that, perfection is a journey. So it takes time to build, takes time to perfect things. And, we're taking it one step at a time, and that's what we are building towards.
100%. I have a question. So, I personally put in a couple of requests for some ordinal projects. Are you guys seeing a ton of requests for different ordinal stuff to be bridged over to Merlin?
Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of requests. I only checked the number of requests on I think on the first or second day, and that was really close to up 200. So I'm not sure how many we have now. They're all there's a lot of runes. But interesting thing with bitmap game updates and these things coming up, I think we need to start considering BRC 420 to be added into it as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the attention I think is gonna it's obviously very slowly coming back to BRC 420. But like you said, the upgrade with the bitmap.game is going to be huge. Plus platforms like Veralium DEX and stuff that add the single staking and stuff like that. It's going to be really big for these holders of BRC 420s that feel like kind of like they were forgotten about. I would say, in a sense, I'm not saying that happened, but the market kind of dictated, hey, we're not going to go that far in the risk curve anymore for a while, and so the only way to kind of bring the attention back is to bring infrastructure, and that's what bitmap.game seems to be doing. So I'm super, super excited about that. What do you determine for you guys to approve like a collection over, and I know you said it could take up to 48 hours. Do you give like an answer like this? We can't bring this over, or we will bring this over, or what does that look like?
Okay, so I tried it myself a few times anonymously, and it kind of takes like less than 24 hours.
Okay.
But we say 48 hours because just to be safe, right? It's better to say that rather than like people coming with pitchforks when it doesn't happen in like 24 hours. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward. All you just need to do is just apply, and if it's on chain, mostly if it's on chain, and it's not on like it's not on Merlin yet, and you can basically just apply for it.
Gotcha. So let's say it gets approved. Where can I see that? Like, would it be on the Unicross website to where I try to bridge, and if it's in my wallet, then I should see it bridgeable, or
it'll be emailed to you actually?
Emailed to you. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
your approval will be emailed to you, and then like the next step you can do is basically just go to the Unicross website, and you can bridge over your the thing that you applied for, whether it's like a BRC20 or ordinals or something like that.
Gotcha. Okay, awesome. All right, that was my only question I had.
Yeah.
What about you, Shizzy? You good?
Yeah, I mean that's it, man. So Mr. J, you any final words?
Yeah, I just want to add that there's a lot of excitement coming on to Merlin, and we're going to be really busy coming up with a lot of requests, and also I think a lot of new users coming in trying to learn how to like bridge assets. So I'm pretty excited for what's to come with bitmap game. That definitely is a big factor to hyping up Merlin, and I've heard a lot of other things about other builders that are building, but we'll let them talk about it later on. So yeah, pretty excited actually.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Pretty excited to meet you guys in
September.
Yeah,
that's going to be exciting.
Man.
Token 2049 in Singapore will be there in September, so it's going to be exciting. We're going to see a lot of our good friends from the East. So we'll definitely take some pictures, have some fun, stuff like that. But appreciate you, Mr. J. As always, you and your team are crushing it, and we will talk to you next time.
Thank you. I'll see you soon.
Jay.
All right, sounds
Definitely,
good.
man. All right, guys, that's our show today. We appreciate everyone who stayed this long. Especially after this crazy day back from Nashville. I think everyone's kind of feeling the same. We're all kind of feeling a little exhausted. I don't know about you, but my
just
head's
a little
kinda
bit.
like, I need a nap. But yeah, appreciate you guys watching, man. Hope you guys appreciate us really trying to give you guys the most information we possibly can.
Yeah, definitely. And if you do get a chance, guys, check out our partners, Ordinal Hive. We just had them on the Blur of Bitcoin. Make sure you reach out to their Discord to get on that beta so you can start earning points and see where that takes you. And then you have Fluid Tokens, the first permissionless runes DEX on Bitcoin's native layer. So they use limit orders for that. Again, the leaderboard is out, so you can track your points with that one. Top 1,000 point earners will get a free Fluid Pass airdrop, which can be used for something else down the line. Use your imagination. And then we just had Sam from VDEX on. So looks like this week I'm crossing my fingers for them because I'm super excited to see what they have. And of course, Traverse Labs, the #1 security solution for Bitcoin layer 1 assets. Protect your layer 1 assets with MFA and the two-step process there.
100%, guys. And check out ordinalrevolution.com. We have some of the best articles there. And you got a store as well. A lot of people are asking me over the weekend, hey, where'd you get that shirt at? Where'd you get this at? Ordinalrevolution.com. You hit the store button and you got to check out all that from there. But guys, we're live Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. UTC. We appreciate every single one of you guys every single day. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Peace.
We OG, oh no, G. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the oh no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload, yeah. Experts on reload, yeah. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the oh no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload. Experts on reload. Mempool getting hot. Everybody wanna rock, ayy. Runes is coming, everybody on a knot, ayy. It's a nuisance. Ordinal Revolution, ayy. Ordinal Revolution. Yo, it's my guy for real, bro. Got friends right now. Yo, BRC 420, bro. Yo, that shit on fire, bro. Imagine if he in here. Yeah, like it in the seal. Murder. I got balls of steel. Nookies on the field. Yeah, this shit for real. With no calls, I get so far. Got 100 phone calls that I go hard, and they gon' love me. Smoke weed, huddle back. I get shiesty. Where my Bitcoin looking lovely. All this Satoshi's nothing above me.